Hello and welcome to the Paul Green Comedy PaulCast for July 4th, 2024. Boop-de-doo-doo-doo-doo. Saturday in the park. Thinking it was the 4th of July. Blah, blah. You know, if it actually was 4th of July, I think his memory would be a lot stronger. That's a pretty significant day to be walking in the park. Saturday in the park. What day was it? Was it one of the most iconic American holidays of all time? I don't know. It might have been the 4th of July. Was there a 4th of July going on? Do you remember fireworks associated with that walk in the park that day? Because, you know, if it was maybe just a normal day at the park, it probably was not the 4th of July. All right. I don't know why I started off today's episode with a harsh criticism of lyrics from famous Chicago tunes, but that's what we're doing because it's the 4th of July and I have freedom of speech. Except when I say something that somebody doesn't like, and then it's not really free anymore. All right, everybody. Happy 4th of July. I hope you had a fantastic holiday. You got out, you got some fireworks in, you did what you like to do. I got to tell you, at this stage of my life, I am just a Scrooge all around. I hardly celebrate any holidays ever anymore. And I don't know. They've just kind of become other days to me. Just another day. I mean, it's cool that I, usually have like a day off of work and stuff. That's fun. But today I actually did a lot of work. I had a meeting with my marketing team. Yeah, I have a marketing team now, guys. A whole team that consists of 2 people. And it is a great marketing team. And I'm actually very excited. Very excited for what's happening with my other podcast, the Midlife Crisis Comedy Podcast. And it is just really exciting. And we're getting people on board who seem to also be excited about the brand and what we're doing. And we're going to just start riding this gravy train as long as the tracks will keep manifesting themselves in front of us. And we're a little bummed because we have a show next week and we are just not moving tickets to save our lives to that show. And the ticket sales are so bad that we pretty much just have determined that this really just has to be a bad time of year type thing, because it just really doesn't feel like it has anything to do with what we have done or not done to sell tickets to this show. So it just must be that July 11th is a really bad day to try to sell tickets in Arizona, which makes sense. It's 178 degrees outside. This is probably a really popular time for families and people to be going on vacations. And yeah, it's just probably a really tough time of year to try to pull off a show. And I think that we are experiencing that. But we're going to just keep moving forward and see what happens. All you can do is try and then learn and then move forward. But really cool stuff. So anyway, I had a Zoom meeting with my buddy Josh and our marketing team, our advertiser who's out of New York, and our social media manager who's local here. She's been working with me on my personal comedy brand, and she's been doing a fantastic job. And I was just like, hey, I think we could really use your insight and expertise on the Midlife Crisis Comedy brand. So she is starting to look into what she can do to boost that brand for us. And So that was really cool. So after meeting with the marketing team, me and Josh, we did a bunch of like sort of promo videos to just see what sort of advertisements and stuff that we can make from doing that. So did that, and then I went and hung out with my mom. She made me a awesome 4th of July sort of old school barbecue type dinner, which was awesome. And then she and I hung out and watched a little Bill Burr, had a great time. And then I was starting to get a bit of a headache, so I went home before fireworks even started, and then I just watched a movie myself after that. I didn't really see one live firework, and man, is this what I'm saying? I'm just kind of a Scrooge, just a little curmudgeon. I don't know if it's curmudgeon-y, it's just sort of apathy. I'm just going, yeah, I've seen a fireworks show before. They're cool, you know. They go up into the air, and they start slow. Yeah, no, they give you like a nice big blue one. You're like, oh, it's starting. And then they give you a nice big red one. And you're like, oh, it's the America's colors. And then they give you a nice big white one. And you're like, oh, it's red, white, and blue, right? And then they'll do the little sparkler thing. And then, you know, there's maybe a purple one. And you just kind of sit there, and it's Arizona, so it's 108 degrees out still because it doesn't really cool down at night at this time of year, and you're sweating and you're crowding around thousands of people, and you had to, yeah, man, gosh, I just sound like a bitter old man. When did this happen to me? When did I become a bitter old man? It just happened so fast. So that was pretty much my 4th of July. So one thing that I'm interested to start talking about over these next couple of days is an author whose name is Robert Greene, and no relation. And what started first is he just started popping up all over my TikTok. So something in my TikTok algorithm told them that, hey, Paul Green will definitely want to listen to this guy. And they were pretty effective because he would pop up just giving little quotes and stuff, and, being interviewed on all kinds of podcasts. And he just always had some sort of nugget of wisdom about how the world really is and how people really are. And he's sort of giving you the hard truth, the truth bombs that nobody wants to admit is the truth, but it's the truth, that sort of stuff. And anyway, so he's been popping up on my TikTok feed for like a while now, for like a couple months, and I would listen to him, but there was nothing that he was really saying that was so earth-shattering that I was going, all right, I should check this guy out. So, I don't know, just something happened the other day. One of his books is called The 48 Laws of Power, or The 48 Rules of Power, or something like that. And I'm not going to lie, I love me a good self-help book. I love a good philosophy book. I'm way into that stuff. I just love stuff that just helps me understand more about myself and why I think and feel and act the way I do, why I've created the experiences that I've created, the opportunities, why I've sabotaged myself when I have, why other people have treated me as best as I can understand the way that they have. I'm just always trying to understand that stuff. And I do buy a lot of books on Audible. I very rarely buy a paper book and read it, but I do listen to Audible a lot. So I figured, hey, maybe I should check this guy's book out, see what he has to say. Let's learn about the 48 Laws of Power. And so far, I haven't liked it at all. And I can't figure out if I don't like it because it's a situation to what he's saying I know is true, and sometimes hearing truth isn't fun. Actually, that's he talks about that in one of the laws. I'm only like 3 laws in. Or if it's because I legitimately don't agree with him and I think maybe there's a better way or a different way. And I don't know that yet. I just know that the first couple of laws that I've heard, I'm just going, wait, what? Huh? The first law, I think he said, is don't outshine the master. And every time he gives a law, he goes into a story, and he'll tell some story of just one of the most horrific stories that you can possibly think of to illustrate why you shouldn't outshine the master. And the first example he gives in the book is about some dude who was in some court of some king or a prince or something like that. And this guy was getting nervous that he was falling out of favor from the king, and he wanted to get some sort of promotion within the thing or whatever. And so he goes, oh, I know what I'll do. I'm going to throw the most elaborate party ever for the king. So he throws this elaborate party, and then the next day the king has him killed or arrested and killed, and then appoints some sort of loser person who nobody really knows or care about into the position that the other dude wanted. And the whole lesson is, well, the reason he did that is because he threw this elaborate party, but then it actually made it seem like the dude who got killed, was actually the more refined, sophisticated party thrower and not the king. So even though he threw the party for the king, it actually made the king look bad because the king didn't throw the party or something like that. And so the king's ego was damaged and he had him killed. And I'm just going, okay. What? That's a principle by which I'm supposed to live my life as anybody who's above me, make myself seem like an idiot. And I don't know, maybe there is some truth to that. I mean, these are laws of power. He is saying these are universal laws, and you can see them play out just as much today as they were historically. But I don't know. I don't really know I don't know what to think about this, because, again, do I not like that because it actually is a true principle? And maybe it's a principle that I've messed up with in my life. Have I ever outshined a master? And honestly, I think that I have. And I have one very specific circumstance that has happened recently in my life, where I parted ways with a comedy club that I had performed at for a long time because I had a falling out with the owners. And I'm going, did I have a falling out with the owners, or did I outshine them? Oh. But the other part of that is, well, yeah, if you're going to stay in the organization, then don't outshine the master. And I probably spent a lot of years in that organization sort of keeping my colors dim. But then when I really was ready to start branching out and trying different things, all of a sudden they had a problem with it, and they made sure they let me know about it. And so I just went, well, I got to peace out here and move on. And so I don't know. So maybe it is true. Maybe that's a true principle, and I just don't like that it's true. And probably like everything, it's more nuanced than that. And in this guy's defense, the writer of the book, he does actually come at each of these laws from multiple angles. One thing that I don't like about the book is there is a lot of storytelling. And what's sort of interesting, and I've learned this about myself, is I actually do not do well with being told stories. I don't actually do well reading stories. I have a really hard time keeping track of stories. So, this author is reading, and Sir Leblanc, the king of France, who had an advisor, Le Jeu Vedou, And then the stable boy, Colbert, and I'm already going like, I don't even know who these people are, and I'm already lost, and I don't know who's who in the story, and I don't remember these names. And it's like I have to like take notes just to sort of keep track of like, okay, who's everybody, what's going on. And most of the book, most of these principles are expressed through storytelling, and even the storytelling is non-fictional. At least it is touted as being non-fictional. I just have a hard time, so I kind of lose focus and I stop paying attention. I do a lot better with more principle-based philosophy books, where it's just somebody expressing their viewpoint on something. This is how you be successful. Wake up in the morning and work hard and blah, 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 blah. And then I go, oh, I retained all of that. Wake up, work hard. But if they're going, if you want to be successful in life, allow me to tell you a story. Back in 1774, there was a stable boy named Jacques, who was the stable boy for one of the most prestigious landowners in all of Spain. His name was Pierre Monteblanc. Now, Pierre Monteblanc and Jean Lepé had dinner one night with the landlord's mistress, Marie Chonnabecu. I don't know why I'm combining Spanish with, like, French. That just goes to show you how hard it is for me to keep track of stories. I can't even keep accents straight. So anyway, but I am really trying to listen to this book and understand power and understand how to wield it in a manner that I find morally consistent and more virtuous. Although there's probably a law of power against that. I don't know. It just seems like it really is speaking to the most base of human nature. And I don't know. But if I have a resistance to it, maybe that is because it's exactly what I need to be learning right now. Oh, there you go. That's probably law 49. That's the 49th law. I'll see if I get to that. All right, everybody. So don't outshine your masters. And you won't get banished and executed from some king. I feel like that's a weird note to end on. It's kind of negative. It's like I'm just talking about this book and how I don't like it, and I haven't even really brought it around. But, this is all part of the journey. I'm in this learning phase about how to become a successful comedian, and I guarantee that there's going to be some laws in this book that are going to teach me something about myself and how I can improve. And right now, I'm just thinking about how not outshining the master can be an effective tool for me moving forward. So to all of my masters out there, I am going to try to not outshine you. Okay. All right, everybody. That's the update for today, though. Sorry this was a weird one. Happy 4th of July. Happy Independence Day. I hope you're all out there pursuing your dreams, seeking knowledge, seeking experiences, seeking opportunities. You're finding joy and fulfillment in the journey. I love you all so much. Thank you for listening to the Paul Green Comedy PaulCast, and I will chat with you tomorrow.